Today, we're joined by Midjourney prompt engineer expert, Sherry Horowitz. Sherry, excited to have you here today. And tell me, how can I actually use, well, first off, what is Midjourney? And how can I use Midjourney to create better content and build more leads?
Okay. Midjourney is, in my opinion, right now, one of the best, easiest to use AI generative art platforms. The question that you're asking is very broad about how to make money using it. There's a ton of applications, and that's probably why you reached out to me, is because I basically create content around all the different applications that you can use Midjourney for. And it's actually changed my business drastically. And it's still evolving. So I can't say definitively, but right now I'd say it's incredible for content creation if you know how to
So let's talk, I want to talk a little bit about how your business has evolved, because I think that's the thing that everybody is looking for. How does AI change my business? And Midjourney basically is you type in prompts, you tell it to make an image, and it makes it. So I could say, draw me a picture of a toad fighting a lizard. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking about toads and lizards, but it'll make these amazing, amazing images. How has that changed your business?
Okay, it hasn't changed my business from that point of view. It's changed my business in the sense, and maybe this will give people insight into how to use AI generative art. I'm trying to think the best way to make it simple. Just specifically for me, I was a graphic designer, but I was also a copywriter. In other words, I have deep experience and knowledge in both fine art, design, advertising design, and I have a master's in creative writing. So somebody who is a solopreneur, I'm able to do and leverage those skills with AI generative art. And soon I will be using Runway or video tools that leverage those skills. So I'm not sure that it's like one size fits all. But if we're going to talk about it in terms of content creation, what's cool about AI is that it's really powerful if you have a great idea and you know how to leverage that idea to make a static image that's very compelling. But that assumes that you have very deep working knowledge about communication, about what makes dynamic social media posts, and about what makes the fundamentals of arresting imagery. So you have to have a lot of skills as a prompt engineer to be able to leverage that. So I'm just giving it to you how I use it effectively, and people could sort of translate for themselves how it might fit into their workflow.
Well, and I've played with Midjourney, and it's shocking. It is shockingly good. Like, the images that come out of it are just amazing. Right. And I think back to where art has come from, and typically these types of images would take a long time to produce. And now you can produce them at instant speed. So is this the death of graphic design?
No. I'll tell you what, a seasoned art director and a seasoned creative director and a seasoned artist, photographer, anybody who's neat in the weeds in art will tell you we could spot a non-complex kind of prompt engineering. In other words, they have codified and automated. Here, I'll get into the weeds a little bit just to give you what I mean. Artificial intelligence is really a misnomer, if that's the right word. It's not the right term for it. It's automated intelligence. So what Midjourney has done is take the widest possible commercial parameters for art and really, in a very deep way, I'm using neural networks and not to get too techie on you, made the sort of like average of what art should be in a coherent way, so that whatever you put in, you're going to get something coherent and artistic. But then if you're not intentional about how you use it, you run into like hackneyed ideas, if that makes sense. Go back to your question. Say that again. Let me just see if I didn't get off topic too much.
Yo, are you interested in business ownership? For many entrepreneurs, the journey starts with non-food franchising. Franchising is simply the better option for many entrepreneurs, and demand is at an all-time high. Lucky for you, John Austinson, founder of Franbridge Consulting, is here to help you today. John and his Franbridge Consulting team are part of the largest brokerage in the US and are constantly vetting the market thoroughly. Franbridge is hands down the premier source for the best opportunities in the non-food franchising world. They will find the best business for you, your personality, and your location, from healthcare to dumpsters, from youth soccer to oil changes, even insulation and windows. And the best part, it's 100% fee-free, no additional costs to you. You may have heard John on Entrepreneurs on Fire. He has served as an Inc. 500 franchisor, a multi-brand franchisee, and in fact, he's one of the top 1% consultants nationwide. Listen, sign up for a free consultation with the CEO, John, today, not his assistant, not his sales team. Sign up for free with John today at franbridgeconsulting.com. That's franbridgeconsulting.com. And guess what? He's even going to send you a copy of his book for free, Non-Food Franchising. For free book. You got to love it. So go to franbridgeconsulting.com right now. All right, let's get into the episode.
So the question here is, Midjourney can create graphic images almost instantly, images that used to take a long time to produce. Isn't that just the death of graphic design as we know it?
No, I don't think so, because graphic designers, you know what, it might be the death of poor designers. It might be the death of people who are not that skilled, not that knowledgeable, and not that, I don't like to say not talented, because everybody's talented.
It's a completely different skill set, though. I've done art my whole life, and art is typically, painting. And now you're not actually visualizing the changes you're making. You're typing them in. It's who's the best copywriter will create the best content. Whoever's the best at engineering the prompts is going to be able to create the best artwork instantly. I've seen the logo designs that you can create in Midjourney. They are unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right. So that's right. So the point is that where we used to struggle or celebrate execution, we are now moving away from execution being a barrier to entry, and the idea rules the day. So the more rich you are in your understanding of how to use art, visuals in your communications for content creation, and you understand the dynamics and the metrics of what you're trying to accomplish in your content creation, then that will be the winner. It's not to say that graphic designers don't have a place. It's just going to be a little different how they use the tools. Because Adobe's also incorporating AI into their systems.
Well, everyone's is incorporating AI. And I think in some cases, the AI is maybe either not necessary or it's just trendy, or they're just experimenting with the tools just to see what it looks like. But I got to say, the artwork that's being created instantly is really spectacular. And you really don't need to be some sort of graphic design guru to make really, really sick art. And I'm wondering if we're quickly moving into a place where everyone is just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And, the other thing I think that's really compelling about AI algorithms in general is they can take massive amounts of data points, comprise it into one simple instant. So, we don't fully understand the human brain, right? We've only begun to start to explore what it means. But if we can take algorithms that can say, this is the amount of style, these are the styles of posts they're getting likes, these are the styles of posts they're getting comments, it can take that, translate that, and determine what type of styles of art are popular, what type of styles of art get a result. I just don't see how graphic designers can survive that, because you don't know. The algorithm knows all. We're ruled by these supercomputers that understand everything that we're doing.
I think it's just more nuanced than that. I think that if a graphic designer has made their success on their technical skills of understanding how to use Adobe software, but isn't perhaps, hasn't made their success in being, artistically communicative, they might suffer, but it's more of how you use the tools. It's the same thing with the camera or any Adobe software. I don't like some of the Adobe software because it's very tedious and technical, but I will now enjoy using it more because the AI already knows what I need to use it for. It's going to make my job easier. I left fine art because it was very technical, like execution. And I studied advertising design because words are also a medium. And I like the combination of the visual with the conceptual. So it's just a tool. I think the winner will be whoever uses the tool most effectively. That's how I see it.
I do like the idea of making it easier and more accessible, because I got to be honest, the first time I opened up Adobe Illustrator, I was like, holy crap, there are a lot of freaking buttons here.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a business owner. I don't have time to learn how to do all this. Then you open up Adobe Photoshop and it's more buttons, and then Adobe Premiere Pro. And there's all these buttons. So maybe that is a good avenue for creators to go into, right? If you can leverage the AI to create maybe add-ons or plugins to make these tools more easy and more accessible to people like myself, maybe that's a good way to go. Maybe that's a level one place for graphic designers to actually make more money, enhancing their craft.
Yeah, I just think you just really have to be very devoted to your craft and look at it from a communication point of view. In other words, study communication principles, because art is nothing if not a communication of an idea. That's what art. We've gone through periods where we've celebrated the technique of the artists sometimes, or the fact that they devoted their life to mastering technique. But at the end of the day, it's about communication and what it meant to us. That is important. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Well, no, so I agree with that. Community, and that's, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. So I agree with that there. But gee, I got to be honest. I'm terrified. If you're in graphic design, graphic art, graphic creation, and you're not starting to play with tools like Midjourney, I think you're dead.
Yes.
I think you just don't know it yet. You need to be testing this stuff out. You need to be applying it. It also allows you to scale up your creation much faster.
Yes.
And that's the other thing that I think is going to be interesting is you look at these marketing firms that have dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of graphic designers. You're going to be able to reduce that down to maybe just a handful.
I do agree with that.
So what can people do to avoid getting fired? This is the question. Save us.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Just become the best at what you do with a vengeance. That's what I'm trying to do.
My opinion is start playing with it now. And I didn't think about this before, but the idea of developing plugins that work with really popular programs, I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Make it easy, make it
That's what
make it accessible.
doing. Adobe is I'm really excited about Adobe because I hate using Photoshop, but I know I want to use it sometimes, and they're just making it so much easier. The AI has so much data from 20 years that they're in existence, or more even. I think it's actually 30 years, because when I started, they were in iteration, right after Cork was dying. They have so much data about what we need to use the software for that I think what's going to happen is they're going to silo different end uses. So package design will be one, and then there'll be one for, like Adobe Express is for social media. And they have like all these really cool, they just know the UX, the UI, they've like distilled it down. So if you're a graphic designer, definitely, I don't know if you need Midjourney, but definitely stay on top of your game to see where AI is coming in, and just understand the landscape is what I'm saying, I guess. That just
the worst thing you could do is bury your head in the sand, because
correct.
You will not make it through the next phase of human evolution if you don't.
Well, honestly, that's true about AI in general. That's a much larger discussion that we need to start teaching our children about how to think the way AI does, because it's a different way of thinking, a different way of accessing information. I mean, we've been Googling for 20 years, and it's going to change. The interface is changing how we extract information. And you need to think much larger and much more big picture in order to understand. And you should read about how algorithms are designed, what diffusion models are, how neural networks work, what are GANs, the generative adversarial networks, because all of these designs will make you sharper in understanding how to leverage the AI in certain instances.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And the other thing you can do is you can make sure that you subscribe to the damn podcast and you hit the like button so you keep watching this, because I'm going to bring you the heat. I'm bringing you the heat. Sherry, thanks for joining us here today. Where's the best place for us to find you?
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, I always share my insights about this as I evolve my own business and adopt it in my workflow. I'll be testing runway and more specific siloed products. I constantly talk about macro principles and micro principles. I've given some lectures. You can check out my featured section and you can really learn a lot. Just follow me too, and hopefully I'll carry us all through.
You definitely want to be following the right people. And again, I cannot stress this enough. It's not enough just to watch from the outside. You need to get your hands dirty.
Yes.
You need to start playing with this stuff now.
Yes.
You need to start playing with this stuff now to understand how powerful it is, because the first time you open up Midjourney, your jaw is going to drop. Sherry, thanks for joining us on the episode here today.
So nice. Thanks so much, Mark.